So for me, I've been all sorts of roles: club management, regional council, coach, official. So I've got quite a broad understanding. And I've been chair of Athletics Norfolk now for probably best part of 16, 17 years. And I've been chair of Norfolk Sports Hall for probably 12 or so years. Really, sort of for me, it's the entry point in our sport is absolutely essential that we get that right. So we put a lot of effort into making sure that at that level in Norfolk we are really good. So for me, picking up what you've been said earlier, building the base is absolutely important because the demand is there. And I've worn my pink T-shirt. Does anyone know what my pink T-shirt represents? No? So my pink T-shirt, I wore this here 2 years ago at the back of that stand over there. As you can see, it says have a go, and it's got have a go splashed across your back as well. And we did phonetics stroke sports hall events on the day I did it, which I think was a Tuesday, best part of 500 young athletes who are keen to get involved in our sport. So the demand is definitely there. I can say that as well from being involved with City of Norwich Athletic Club, because I'm also the track and field coordinator. I've currently got a waiting list of about 150 that I can't get into the club any shape or form. Although I'm telling you what already is going on, I still can't get those in. So, building the base, absolutely very important. The demand is absolutely real. So I'm going to tell you the story now, guys. So from 2008 to 2024, 16-year case study on entry point competition for young athletes and their parents. Okay, so Sports Hall in Norfolk's been going for about 30 years. We did pretty well in the first sort of 10 years. We won the national championships once. One team, they were under 13 girls. From 2008, we've done a bit better, which I'll go on to. But first of all, I'll explain what we do. So first of all, we hold 3 competitions in a double sports hall before Christmas. Each of those gets about 160 athletes. We have to limit it at those sort of numbers because we can't get any more in. 90 to 100 of them are all under 11s, all keen and enthusiastic. It's a lot of noise. We whip it up because we are known as Noisy Norfolk across the country. So we do work on that and whip that up. So we have those 3 competitions. I'd normally recruit 2 or 3 quality officials. One as track ref, one as field ref, one as timekeeper. And then everybody else, unfortunately, I then go and badger the mums and dads. So everybody else runs the competition is all mums and dads. We try and keep it short format. So we start at 12:15 for foam javelin for the under 11s, and there's normally 60 or 70 throwing foam javelins. And we're already finished by 4:15. Over that sort of period, there's at least 160, and we're trying to have one a month. At the end of the season, it's actually a team-based competition, so all the clubs put teams in, and we present trophies. We just did it a few weeks ago in Kings Lynn. We try and move it around the county as well, so we did it in Kings Lynn. Gave out £500 worth of trophies, and most of the athletes who turned up walked away with a trophy. Also from doing that, just a sort of slight point on terms of bringing volunteers in, our scorer, who's done it for 15 years, has decided he's going back to Yorkshire. He's not going to commute every session back from Yorkshire back to Norfolk. So I was just on the microphone going, we need a new scorer. Surprise, surprise, a lady who'd been volunteering all 3 sessions for timekeeping said, I don't mind doing that. So I then sent her down to the scorer, and hopefully now she's going to be our new scorer. So it's all about promoting and trying to bring people in. Further to that, after those 3 competitions, we then pick county teams, and you've seen some of the county teams on here. Before I came here this morning, I was dealing with that, so I just ordered 70 T-shirts. So on the 1st of February, 70 of our athletes are going to compete in one of those competitions, proudly wearing their Norfolk T-shirt, which we give them for free, based on the profits we make from the league matches. We also do a county champs, so that's coming up in a couple of weeks' time after Christmas. That's all individual, and you can get your own medal and you can take it away if you win. And to make sure this is as inclusive as possible, we try and encourage schools. So some years we've had schools teams in. We've had people just individually turning up, and we had a little girl turn up from completely nowhere. Obviously saw what we were advertising to the Kings Lynn match. And most of our under 11s jump 1 metre 80, standing long jump. She produces a 2 metre 20. just completely out of the blue. So we've gone, thank you very much, please, you're in the county team. So we've dragged her in, and basically incorporated what we do in terms of trying to make sure we've got as many people and make it as open as possible to bring them in. But the key thing with this is to try and keep mums and dads engaged. And one thing I'm talking with England Athletics about is I would love to be able to say to the 20 people now who've been helping me to run those matches, you're a level 1 official guy, because I've seen your timekeep, you're pretty good. I've seen you track judge, you're pretty good. I've seen you do the shot, you're pretty good. Let's get you on the ladder so actually we can get them in earlier, but that's a separate discussion for different times. So that's, first of all, sports hall. So roughly 160 kids enjoying themselves 4 times if you include the county championships through the winter. Having done that and recognised we've got something really good locally, the problem then was we weren't doing anything in the summer locally. So back in 2008, when I'd just sort of been made chair of the Athletics Norfolk, we thought we better do something about that locally, which obviously quite ties in quite nicely with when we haven't got any competition for under 12s or under 10s going forward in the age groups. So we introduced Quad Kids. So now, through the summer, we do 5 Quad Kids competitions. Again, with this, it's the same process, 2 or 3 lead officials, everybody else is, come on, you've got to come in. And what we do on the entry forms is, what are you going to do when you come along? So are you going to help set up? Are you going to help timekeep? Are you going to help track judge? Are you going to help field judge? Are you going to help tidy away? Oh, and by the way, would you like to be on the main committee? So we list all those sort of things and give the people options, then we just rope them in. So again, we do the 5 competitions all around the county with all these mums and dads helping out. That's run really well. That's generally for under 11s, under 13s, and we get probably about 120 to each of those 5 competitions. And again, to make them feel part of the bigger scene, within our county championships, we have a Quad Kids match. So on the Sunday, we do Quad Kids. So the under 11s are seeing all the high level competitions, so they get infused, hopefully, and they want to be in those high level competitions in the future. So that has also run really, really well. So we've now got quite a comprehensive programme for both our volunteers and our little kids, juniors, all the way through the whole season now, with potentially 9 or 10 competitions for them throughout that period. So, why do I think it's important that we do this? So I'll give you some stats now. Okay. So I've spoken about sports hall. 70 athletes picked on there, you see. So I think it was the green slide, I think. The 70 athletes are going to compete in the regional sports hall match in 3 or 4 weeks' time, 1st of February, in one of those big sports halls in Norwich. We'd like to try and get it in Norwich because it's home support, so it's really noisy and it's an absolutely amazing day. So if you actually happen to be in Norwich on the 1st of February, do recommend that you come along because it is a tremendous event. So they'll all turn up in their yellow T-shirts. There's a big mass warm-up. It's a really good start to the day. So we're in the same region, so Little Norfolk. We're in the same region as Big Essex, huge Essex, pretty big Hertfordshire, fairly big Bedford, fairly big Cambridge, and probably just a bit bigger than us, Suffolk. Okay? So they all compete in under 11s, girls and boys, under 13s, girls and boys, under 15s, girls and boys. How many times in the last 5 years have our under 11s girls won that championships? How many times do you think?
Twice.
No, sorry, we're reigning champions for the last 5 years. Okay? And our boys have never been out the top 3. Okay? So our tiny little ones are doing pretty good. However, so since 2010, there have been 52 teams that have gone from that region to the national final. Okay? 52 teams from the 6, potentially from the 6 counties, have gone to the national final. How many of those 52 teams come from Little Norfolk? 5. 30. 40. Getting closer. 41. So 41 teams have gone to the national finals from Little Norfolk, under 13 girls, under 15s. And in lots of cases, most of those athletes that go along there, so sometimes we're taking like a whole coach load to the national final. Yeah, those may be the best moments of some of those lives. Is it possible you could run the slideshow and put a freeze on one? Is that possible? 41 teams out of 52 from that big, huge Essex and those guys to the national final. How many national winning teams have we had since 2010? National winning teams now, so we're now talking about Little Norfolk on the big scene nationally.
10.
Close, 8. We've also had 7 runners-up, 4 in third. You're probably aware that the under-15s compete in something called an all-rounder competition, because it's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be everything. So how many individual all-rounder champions have we had from Little Norfolk?
How many years?
12.
12 years. 6.
4. We missed out on one in COVID. We would have had one in COVID, or can touch back, come on in a minute. So we would have had 5. We've also had 1 runner-up and 2 third places. So for me personally, I'm really proud, because like tiny Little Norfolk shouldn't be doing that well. Okay? So my message today is, well, what I've been talking to Chris and a lot of the guys about is, how do we get this, and what you guys have already identified in terms of a gap, how do we get this rolled out? Because really, Norfolk shouldn't send any teams to the national final. Not if we've got Essex and Hertfordshire in our area. So, all that, oh yes, yes. So I can't really see where. So this was the last time we were in Manchester. This is the under-13 girls national winning team. Unfortunately, it's not that clear, but I think this is Rose. So Rose, at that point, was probably a highlight of her athletic career. She's been a great couple athlete. She's never going to be brilliant. She won't mind me saying that, but that was probably the highlight of her career. She got a gold medal at national champs. She's still in the sport. She's now a level 2 coach, hopefully in a few weeks' time, and she's one of our team managers for this team going forward. Okay, so pulling that growth sort of through, really important. Thank you. In addition to that, the lad who missed out on being all-rounder champion 4 years ago because of COVID is now the best under-20 decathlete in the country. A lad called Conrad Winter. Came from this route. Last year, City of Norwich, because I'm also a City of Norwich, we competed in the Southern Athletics League, for a little club really, remotely from everybody else. We came 4th in the whole league out of 100 and odd clubs, I think. 15 members of that team are all under-20s, under-23s from this programme going forward. They've stayed together as a social inertia group and gone through together. Again, probably they're not going to be national champions, but they're all certainly very good athletes, and they're really enjoying the sport, and it's sort of come from where we are here. So that's a couple of achievements from the athletes, but I think perhaps more importantly somewhat times is the benefits from the volunteers. So going back when I saw 2008, a guy called Tony Bradfield, got to chatting to him. His daughter was doing sports hall. He's got a bit of a IT background. So he really sort of knows what he's doing in terms of that sort of information. So he comes along and goes, I can really improve the membership scheme. So he improves the membership scheme. Okay, that was his first step. So he became the membership officer. He's now, and has been for the last 7 years, chair of the club. So he came from this route. We've also got a lady called Helen Stubbs. Helen Stubbs was chair of Norfolk Sports Hall before me. So she ran that for a period. Her daughter went off to university, but she stayed with it, and she now scores for all of our quad kids competitions. Over and above that, we've got Sarah, who's now involved in the City of Norwich. Her kids have come through that. Actually, Rose is one of her children. She's come through that route, and she's now heavily engaged in sports hall administration and club administration. When we organised this, particularly at the City of Norwich, we had quite a lovely facility. We haven't got that facility now, but going back 10 years ago, we had a great facility with a lot bit of an atrium. All mums and dads used to talk in there, so we used to get them together, and for a 6 to 7 year period, we had this group of 10 officials, they all became, rolling through the club. They've all disappeared now, apart from 1 or 2, but for that period, we had that number of people. So it was a really good point to get people engaged at the start and then carry them through. I've already spoken about Rose. Further team managers in Norfolk Sports Hall, we've got Sophie, Maddie, Billy, Caitlin and Charlotte, who are all under 23s, stroke under 20s. So they've now sort of come back into it and said, actually, no, we want to help out. And they've done a really good job in terms of getting that team together. So I'm hoping that if I came back next year, I can tell you another 4 teams have gone to the national final. So that would be really good. So for me, in sort of summarising what I've sort of said, there's ways and means to actually engage with our young people. I think there's more opportunities if we can get more volunteers in to support them. But if we build the base big enough, hopefully we can bring some volunteers with us. And at the same time, we can generate some really good athletes. And also, not only just athletes of high standard, athletes who want to stay in the sport and potentially become administrators. And then perhaps to close my bit, I think I've gone through most things on my sheet. Scott's going to talk after me, KMC. Yeah, so Scott's going to talk about sort of a new potential programme that EA are developing called KMC, Kids Multi-Challenge. Kids Multi-Challenge. Okay, so he's going to talk about that in a few minutes. What I've said is that obviously we try to bring things new, do things better or change ways of what we're approaching, look at what's the best approach. So hopefully I can stand here next year and go, well, we've tried KMC, get right, we've tried KMC and actually it's really great, guys. This is why you should do it. So we're going to pilot it during next year in Norfolk and hopefully I can come back next year and give you a little flavour about what KMC is and how good that is. So I think that's it from me, everybody, but really enthuse your junior database, guys, because it really works, okay?